Ooh, okay. So, hey, what's up? I got this microphone so you can hopefully hear me better, and because I like to talk to my with my hands, so I want something to slightly distract me from how weird this is. Anyways, my name is Cameron Omega. At time of recording, I am 35 years old, from and currently living in Fort Wayne, Indiana. Um, yeah, this is weird for me. I don't like doing stuff like this. Having my face out there and making myself like in a sense a public spectacle bothers the shit out of me. So I don't like doing it. I don't normally do it, and I would prefer not to do it. But um, I guess unfortunately for me in this particular aspect, I like making stuff, particularly paintings and art. And in order for me to put that out there in a better way, people need to know who I am and more about me. Sorry if I'm looking around, it's keeping me from like being twitchy and weird. Um, and if you see me looking down, it's because I like made notes to myself to help me get through this. So, so yeah. So I don't like doing this stuff. You talk to me one on one, I'm good. Super cool. Um, Even talking in front of a small crowd where it's not necessarily a back and forth, at least not immediately, can do that no problem. This is something else though. Uh, for how useful the internet is, I also have a very strong just distrust of it in a lot of aspects. So doing stuff like this is weird for me, but after talking with Chris at 1000 Words, shout out to 1000 Words Gallery, um, I decided that I think it's important for me to risk a little intimacy and put myself out there a little bit more and let y'all know some more about me, I guess, um, and my art or whatever, I guess. So, yeah, let's get into it. So, the first thing is going to be for me what this isn't. So, this ain't gonna be about my painting process. I'm sorry. For me, the actual act of painting and doing that's extremely for myself. And I've talked to people about my full process, like start to finish, everything I do. But um, for now and for the foreseeable future, I'm not recording that. I'm not showing anybody that. You don't get that. That's for me. So this is definitely not going to be about that. Um, One thing I thought about doing was going over like my tools and materials and stuff like that. I was like, oh, that would be cool. Maybe people would be interested in that. Uh, it's mostly basic stuff. You can pick it up at any art store besides, the markers, and you just order those online. So I'm not like doing anything particularly special or anything like that. So I was like, that's boring. So this ain't about that. Then I was like, okay, well, what is like something that's important that I don't really talk about? And that's drawing. Um, People maybe don't know this, or maybe can't tell from how my paintings look, but drawing is a very important part of this. I have a lot of sketchbooks. I usually take like a year to do like a full sketchbook or whatever, sometimes two in a year. But that ain't all that important. I mean, it's important to me, but it's maybe not important to y'all. Oh, I got an email. I don't know if y'all heard that, but yeah. But yeah. So this ain't about that either. So what is this whole thing then? Um, I don't know. I did not write out like specific things for me to like trigger an idea to talk about. I'm really freestyling this right now. This is actually going a lot faster than I thought it would be. Um, so what I have now is, I guess, about the art and what its meaning is to me. But the thing that I come have come to determine or realize is that in a lot of ways, what I feel about the art kind of doesn't matter. So what do I mean by that? I'm not looking to tell people what to feel. Um, when I do these paintings, I have very specific things in mind or specific feelings in mind. Some things are so specific that they're down to an individual person and how I'm feeling about the relationship with that person, or to the music that I'm listening to that day had maybe inspired the painting, and how that makes me feel and what I envision in the process of like doing that painting. The problem is that you don't know what those things are. You might not ever meet the people that I'm talking about when I'm doing these paintings. Some of them you can't meet. Um, some of those feelings I don't even know how to fully explain myself, because if I did, I would just write it down and it would make my life a lot easier. But I can't. So I paint them because that's what works for me. So because of that, I know exactly how the paintings feel, but when they're presented to you, when you come to a show or look at stuff on my website or on Instagram or whatever, what have you, I can give you a clue to that. I do that with the titles. Um, if you've seen a lot of the stuff that I've done recently, they all have titles, and that's because I wanted to like give you some insight into what's going on with the painting. But ultimately, you're going to come to your own conclusions about the art, anyways. And I'd rather not fuck that up for you. I know in the past, unintentionally, I have kind of, while some things have been made more clear to a person looking at the art, and that's been helpful for them to like kind of interpret what I was going for, some things I've explained and it's kind of fucked up the vibe of the painting for the person. And I don't want to do that. I don't want to, even though the paintings like are ultimately all like a reflection of me, I am, the context around the existence of all this work. When it's in your hands, it's in your hands. And I can't tell you how to feel about it. And I don't want to. I would hope that see the paintings and the work, and you have, your own feelings and conclusions about them, and you just apply that yourself, and you feel how you feel about it without, me instructing you, I guess. Like, I know not all art or things that are created are up for interpretation by, the viewer, but I don't think y'all are dumb. I think, you have your own thoughts and feelings that you're bringing with you when you come to see my stuff. So I would hope that when you apply that to the work, you feel whatever you need to feel, and not that I don't mess that up for you in a way. You could be like, oh, this painting, it feels so so fun and so happy and it's bright and I like the colors, and I'm like, yeah, I was very depressed when I made that. I like the truth for me in a way is kind of irrelevant for the truth for you and how you see it. So I think somewhat going forward, I won't, necessarily be explaining all of that with everything. Um, some stuff definitely I will be explaining. I guess I'll kind of get into that in a second. But for, the majority of stuff, I think I'll just, I'll keep those stories to myself if, I have them. Yeah. I had like this whole like high minded thing that I was going to do and be like, oh, I'll talk about, the nature of the current state of art and da 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 da. Like I had that all set up in my mind. But now that I'm like recording, I feel watched in a way that I'm not used to. And so I'm like drawing a blank. So I think if something comes to mind, I'll like bring that up. But for now, I'll just like get on to this next part. I have it in my notes here. This is like a trigger warning. If you are a person that's dealing with like suicidal ideation or anything like that, I'll like try to put a marker on here where you can skip to. But if you need to peace out or anything like that, fully understand. Thank you for listening to my ramblings up until this point. So yeah. So the thing that I have like as it's stated on my notes here is suicidal ideation and laughing at stuff. So why am I getting into this deep and maybe mildly troubling for some people discussion? So right now I am in the middle of doing a series of paintings that I've had conceptualized in some form or fashion when I was in college. So I don't know, maybe since I was like 20. And like I said, at the beginning of this thing, I am 35 at the time. So I've been thinking about this for a long time. And the series is called The Incomplete Circle. And now that I finally feel like I've reached like a skill level and somewhat emotional stability to go into doing these paintings, I'm like now working on them. I've been sick for like the last month, so I've finally recovered enough to one, do this video, but to start painting again. So I'm going to be doing that, working on them again here soon. But the reason why I'm working on these is to kind of deal with some of the trauma I've had throughout my life and I guess now it would be considered like like almost passive suicidal nature, hence the suicidal ideation. I'm good. I have trouble talking about this stuff with most people, mostly because I don't want to end up in a place with the grippy socks. So hence the saying the thing and laughing at stuff. It's a defense mechanism, but joking about it also kind of helps me feel less awkward about it. Anyways, so these paintings, it's going to be a series of 13 paintings. The whole, like, I guess, deal behind them is me trying to integrate my feelings around, my depression and anxiety and suicidal ideation that I've had since most of my life. Literally since I was a kid. I think some of like the earliest times that I could identify those feelings as that were like middle school and stuff like that. But I think in some form or fashion I've always kind of been dealing with these emotions, and it just over time has either increased or decreased. So if you look at the titles of the paintings, um, and kind of read between the lines, you'll see the whole theming behind these. I don't even know why I'm like want to talk about this, because normally I don't like to talk about things that I'm working on. I kind of just want to do them, but I also think that's a part of this whole deal with me and the risking intimacy and trying to be open and honest about stuff on like a larger scale with people. Um, yeah, uh, I'm a person that tries really hard every day to just keep going. Some days I'll do really well and I'll go outside and I'll talk to people and I'll be cool and have nice conversations and it's awesome. And then some days it's a fight to get out of bed and I barely get my work done, and I'm like, okay, I just need to make it till tomorrow. So, yeah, I think this is kind of I guess, a part of the exercise of me, instead of, doing I would say what people would seem as rational thing to do, which would be to, okay, we're just not going to acknowledge those feelings and try to compress them down into a ball that, you put in the pit of your stomach that ends up turning into, some type of sickness that fully reveals itself later in life. I'm trying to integrate those things into who I am on a regular basis and be more open with talking about them, and yeah, trying to make it so that instead of like the two people that I can like joke about this stuff with on a regular basis, that I can talk to anybody, you know, if we get to that point with them about this stuff and feel okay. Not necessarily on some, oh, I'm gonna change the stigma or anything. I'm not, the type of person that thinks I have the power to change people in that aspect. But I can, change myself and be more open myself. And if that helps other people, then cool. And hopefully I'll make these pieces and I see something in them and you see something in them. And yeah. So I guess that's the whole thing on that. Um, I really wish I could be more articulate with all this. My thoughts in my mind run like rampant, in almost a poetic kind of fashion. I guess that's what happens when you listen to like rap all your life, is that you can start stacking these words and thoughts together swiftly, but it's hard, for me to then express those and say that out loud. This is the hand thing that I was talking about. So yeah. So that's the end of that. So hopefully that'll give me like a place to put the marker for anybody for the trigger warning. So cool. All right. Now, this is, I guess, the last thing that I kind of have on my list. So what I have here is says coming to terms with having superpowers. Or i.e. being myself. So what does that mean, coming to terms with having superpowers? So I was having a conversation with Chris from Thousand Words, and he said to me, Cameron, it's like at times it's like you have these superpowers and you've never told anybody about them. So sometimes people see them, and and it's funny that he said it like that because I've talked to people before and they have said kind of similar sentiments. Not even on like some bragging type stuff. I am very good generally at the things that I commit myself to. I'm a graphic designer for my day job, and I'm very good at the work that I do. I'm talking like getting months worth of work done in weeks and not completely grinding myself to dust. I've done that before, but I know how to try to balance myself out for things like that. But yeah, I think I have kind of a okay understanding of people at times. And outside of that, I try to be as, caring and compassionate as possible. And to me, I just think, oh, that's just how, people should be. But I guess in my particular combination of, positive and negative traits and neuroses and all of that, it works out that at times I have superpowers. So, and people, I don't know, enjoy my particular brand of weird, and that's cool, but also frightening. And it's weird to have somebody or people in general tell me like they like what I'm doing or they think what I'm doing is cool or whatever. Um, I was raised without a lot, and by without a lot of positive reinforcement, and by I mean without a lot, I mean basically none. So, so everything that I've had to, that I've wanted to do, and wanted to try, I've had to be the creator of the motion to get that thing started and keep it going. So even doing something that I don't know, a lot of y'all probably do like this, which is just recording yourself on camera. You're like, oh, that's not a big deal. It's just boop, camera, go, blah. This is a lot of energy for me. So, but hopefully this will come out well and people will kind of understand where I'm coming from. Said that funny. And maybe have learned a little bit about me and I don't know, think I'm funny or think I'm nice or maybe a little bit intelligent and will want to look at my work and see the superpower that is my ability to create these things and me being myself in all the weird ways that pops up. But yeah, I don't know where I'm going with this anymore. Uh, Trying to take some of the gaps out of my speech, but I don't think that's working well. Anyways, um, thank you for indulging me for a little while and watching this video and listening to me talk that I recorded in a non-disclosed location inside of my apartment. And I hope I don't know what I'm hoping for. Maybe that you'll just, have a good day. Yeah. Thanks. Peace.